guys, welcome back. Today's video is all about things that YouTubers made me buy. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I think everybody has at least one thing in their collection that they bought purely because someone else told them that they needed it. I, however, will not tell you that you need these things, but I just thought this would be a fun video. And so if that sounds like fun to you, then keep on watching. The first thing that I have here was my first dupe that I fell into. I really wanted to test it out for myself and see if these things were truly dupes, just based on the spectrums that they fall on in terms of cost. So I'm not for sure where I saw this. This was, again, you know, over 6 months ago, and I watch YouTube like it's my job. So I apologize if you guys do know. This is actually a pretty common one. I've heard it from many people. So getting right into it, the drugstore version is this Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in the shade Pearlescent Pink. You can see that it's like a salmon-y color with a gold shift. Okay, and then the dupe that everybody talks about for this, and I just have the mini. I got this around Christmas time, and it came with a miniature blush and a miniature matching lipstick, and this is from NARS, and this is their Orgasm blush. And again, you can see this is a little more pink looking in the pan. I'm going to swatch it in just a second here, and you guys can make your own decision. I'm sitting in front of the window here actually just for this purpose, so that you can see you know, the true color of things. So I'm going to swatch this. Ooh, NARS, you don't swatch very well. Oh man, yeah. It's definitely one you have to put on with a denser blush, the NARS one, whereas the CoverGirl, the Wet n Wild one is definitely not. Looking here, my hand is dry, so that's not going to help the situation, but this is the Wet n Wild, and I think it has more of a rose tone to it, whereas this is really like a true salmon or coral shade, but they definitely both have the gold reflect, as you can see here on the back of my hand. So that was one of the first things. NARS Orgasm Wet n Wild Color Icon in Pearlescent Pink. And then the next thing, actually the very first thing that I bought as a recommendation from YouTube, I got totally sucked in. The packaging's great. Everybody talked about it. It smells good. That will give you a hint. And this was also my very first high-end palette. So more on that in a second. But this is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. You're all familiar with it. You either love it or you hate it, and I love it. This is what it looks like. There's different finishes in here, from satin to shimmer to some that have micro glitter in them over here. And I just like this palette. For me, this is a really great everyday palette. It smells sweet. I wouldn't necessarily say it smells like peach, but it does smell sweet, and I don't mind that at all. Everybody was talking about this at the time that I started watching YouTube. So again, no specific person that made me buy this. There are some down here, but I love this palette. I'm not mad about it. One of my favorite shades in here, which is actually, oh, where are we going to swatch this? Is actually not a shade that people talk about a lot in here, but it is one of my favorite shades in here, and it's called Bless Her Heart. It's right here, and it's just this gray taupey color, but it has a green shift to it, and I love green eyeshadow. Georgia Harris mentioned on one of her videos, and I'll link her channel below, that she hopes to see a green eyeshadow trend coming here in 2018, and I would be okay with that. More than okay. I like green eyeshadow. It's, you know, I have green on today, so. So anyways, that's another one. And then another palette. This was the second high-end palette that I bought, and it is totally a YouTube made me buy it. Again, everyone was talking about this palette on YouTube at the time that I started watching and thinking about having a channel, and I bought this, and she is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. This is the new packaging. You can see it's reflective and therefore doesn't get fingerprints on it, which is very good for me. You've all seen this. This is what it looks like. Again, with the green, teal eyeshadows. That is right up my alley. And I think this is an all-around good palette. I know there's some controversy over this palette, but I think it's good, especially if you're brand new or you have a small collection, which I did at the time I bought this. The reason I bought this is I felt like there was endless amounts of eyeshadow looks that I could come up with in here. There's warm tone, there's cool tone, there's satin, there's shimmers. I don't think, you know, there's nothing with any glitter in it, so that's good, because glitter, it can be finicky and I'm not really in the mood for it. But anyhow, this is great. It has everything you could need. Some people think that one of these two should be matte, but I don't mind a satin brow bone highlight, and I think that that falls into that category. So next thing are these two primers. These are sample size primers that I bought together to try out and find which was the better formula for me. This is the First Light primer, and this is the Backlight primer. And as you can see, this is the one I'm using for my Project Pan. I'm making progress. I think I'm down here because I can see it in the light. So I'm making progress. So yeah, I like these both. I think this one is great right now because it's definitely more luminous. I can't talk today. I told my sister this night might not be a good day for filming because I cannot speak today. So this one's more luminous, and so I think it's great for winter time when I need a little more of a glow to my skin. And then this one dries down really fast. I've talked about it before in another video, and I wore it earlier this week, again, just to test it and see the differences between the two. And so this one is, I think, going to be amazing during the summer because it dries down really fast, whereas this one takes a little longer. It's not quite as luminous, which will be good again during the summer when I'm actually sweating. I don't need as much shine to my face as I like to have on my duller winter skin. So again, these were both things that everybody talks about these. It seems like, some people like this one and some people like this one. I like them both. I just think they're going to have different seasonal uses for me, if that makes sense. The next one, I can tell you specifically who caused me to buy this, and I love her so much, and her name is Stephanie Nicole. I will link her channel below again, but I had heard about this product on other channels before. Andrea, is it Mataliano? I'm not for sure. I apologize if I'm butchering your name and you're watching this, which who knows. But anyways, these are the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powders. You've heard me talk about it before. Hourglass is a brand I'm totally hooked on. Even though it is more of a luxury brand, I find it to be worth every penny. This is my full size in dim light, which is my favorite. It's what I use all over my face. I purchased a mini first to try the formula and the shade and everything. Love it. That one has moved on to my purse so I can take it with me everywhere I go. But this is the full size, and this is what it looks like. These powders are amazing. I was reading the description of what an ambient lighting powder was to a friend of mine yesterday, and I was just telling her basically, based on the technology that they have in here, it reflects or deflects light in a different way. So they have, you know, like, they have radiant lighting powder and it makes your face look really brightened. They have this one. They have one that's supposed to produce more of a light on your skin that looks closer to candlelight. And so these products are amazing. They also have blushes and bronzers and highlights. I have a couple of mini blushes and a mini bronzer, and I love them. I will buy full sizes when I use those up. But so yeah, Stephanie Nicole did an amazing video. If I can find it, I will link it below, on the ambient lighting powders. And I was sold, and I am still sold after having tried them out very cautiously because they are expensive. So the next one, I can tell you exactly who this comes from as well. Emily Noel, I mentioned before, she is my OG ride or die beauty YouTuber. She's been around for 10 years now. She just talked recently about her 10 years on YouTube, and I think that's amazing. I think it gives great hope to somebody like me who's just getting into it. And it is the CoverGirl Clump Crusher Extensions Mascara. This is what it looks like. Oh, can you hear my kitty? She's talking smack. And it does have a curved brush, and let's get closer here. You can see that the bristles are fairly short. It is a silicone brush. It's not, you know, what do I want to say? It doesn't have bristles. It's all silicone. And Emily actually always uses this on her lower lash line, and it is great for that because the bristles are so short. You can get really close to your eyes. And then also I feel like with the curve in the mascara wand, it, you know, allows you to also get closer to your eyes. So if you have eyes that are a little bit sunken in or not protruding, I think it might be really nice. If you have very short lashes, I think this would be a good one. I wanted to try it. I don't like to pay a lot for mascara because it has such a short shelf life. You have to throw your mascara away every 2 to 3 months. Some people don't, and that's totally fine. I tend to notice the product to start changing during that 2 to 3 month period. And when my products start to change in their consistency, or the formula just seems to change in some way, that's when I will get rid of things. So I've only had this open for a little while, so it's still good and I still love it. It does exactly what I want in a mascara, which is for it to just lengthen and darken my lashes. I don't want clumps, and so the Clump Crusher is perfect for me. I have the shade Very Black. And then one more thing, and I almost feel silly about this one because I don't know that there are other products. I actually bought this after I had other products like it, and so it almost feels silly to me, but I did it anyways. Damn you, Sephora and Ulta, for having all of this candy aisle up at the front by the registers full of miniatures and trial size products, because you made me buy the Max Fix Plus. This is the original scent, which I believe they call herbal. It doesn't say on here, I don't think, but it does smell herbal. I don't know. I like it. I didn't want to like it, but I liked it. I bought it specifically for foiling eyeshadows, just because you hear all over YouTube, you know, I'm using my Fix Plus, you know. It does have a nice mist. Woo, I don't know if you guys can see that or not. That's twice today that I've sprayed my mirror, so that's cool. But anyhow, I like the smell of this. I don't know that it necessarily smells herbal, but it does smell good. I do like it all over my face, though I can't justify buying the full size that would be big enough for me to use every day on my face. I have the Cover FX illuminating setting spray that I got from BoxyCharm. I love that. That's my current favorite of the ones I have. Excuse me. I have the Mario Badescu, the cucumber scented one, and I have the rose fixing spray from Pixie as well right now, and they're all good, and I use them all. But I'm always so tempted to use this one just because of the smell, and I like the fine mister. But I try to resist the urge. You know, I haven't used that much, and like I said, I try to just use it for foiling eyeshadows. So yeah, this is not by any means everything in my collection that YouTube made me buy, but this is just a start. A few of the products I was having fun with this week, and it just inspired this video. So if you liked this video, please click the like button below, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next one.